Hello again, and welcome to this pre-season pod recording of the Play Up podcast. So once again, I'm joined by the Play Up podcast gang in Tim, Phil, Reece and Jamie to set up the season and either be enthusiastic or anxious or maybe ambivalent about Pompey's chances. At the time of recording, Pompey have made just two signings in John Swift and Adrian Segacic and have made decisions on other players like Cassini Yengi, who's not given a new contract, and Abdoulaye Kamara, who's told he could leave. There was some sadness at young players Riley Towler and Christian Sadie being sold, especially the latter has become quite a fan favourite, and perhaps much more surprising was the news that Matt Ritchie, who had a pretty decent first season back at Pompey, being told he could also find another club. You can also count a few players returning from long-term injury in Iwani Boat and Jacob Farrell, who feel like new signings, seeing as we didn't see almost anything from them last season. The team have had a good pre-season so far, spending several days at Slovakian training camp and starting their friendly campaign with 3 wins with 0 goals conceded. They face sterner tests in the coming weeks, though, with a trip to Reading at the weekend and a home tie against the Dutch side FC Zwolle before the opening match at Oxford United. First of all, let's remind ourselves about last season. After a very difficult start against some admittedly tough teams, Pompey were rooted to the bottom of the league with around 13 games done. However, with the early return of Bishop and some other players finding form, especially Callum Lang and Josh Murphy, Pompey consolidated their home form to gain quite a few wins, which allowed them to finish in 16th place on 54 points. It is perhaps, though, a sign of Pompey's defensive problems due to crippling injuries that the goals conceded was the second highest in the league at 71, and that probably has to be the focus of this season's improvement. So, hello everybody, happy new season to you all.
Hello.
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 All right.
So, as I said there, we've only signed 2 players, which is obviously a cause of concern. But I would argue, though, and you can either disagree or agree with me, that we seem to be in a much better position with a much more solid squad than we obviously did 12 months ago, not least because we've got the 2 injured players returning, but also we have got rid of some of the possible deadwood in Riley Towler and Abdoulaye Kamara, which is a shame because we all had high hopes for him, but it's clearly never going to work out for him. And the club have made the early decision to get him another club. So, how are we all feeling? I'm going to come to you first, Jamie, about the transfers because obviously I think this is definitely your area of expertise, recruitment. So, how are you feeling at the moment?
So I'm not happy. I'm not as happy as I could be. I always think that the reason you have a training camp somewhere hot and abroad is so that your new team can gel together, get to know each other, find out how to play together. And just have a bit of a bonding session. And for us, we've taken a team from last season away for a bonding session. Segacic was probably, I think he went out there, but that's one player that's gone. If the manager is to be believed, we're looking at 5 or 6 at least. So for me, I just wish we'd done our business a hell of a lot sooner. And I think that that's my only complaint is that the only people that have gone to the new bonding session have already been bonding. Now our team's gonna it's gonna start to gel. November, December sort of time because I always go back to the Harry Redknapp, Redknapp Great Escape. It took those players 12 weeks to gel, and that's when they really started to win games, and that is where and so for me, I hate it when we just don't do the legwork. And the one season we did do the legwork, the one season we got everybody in and over the door, we won. We won the division with flying colours. So yes, I'm unhappy, but obviously have to trust in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I take your point, but I would mitigate that by saying that we got the backbone of a good side already, and we didn't really need to do the major surgery we have done last couple of seasons. Tim, so obviously we've got a couple of, well, maybe if you include Paddy Lane, we've probably got 3 players back from long-term injury to start the season in Boa and Farrell. Does that fill you with confidence? Doesn't fill Jamie with confidence, but does it fill you with confidence?
I don't know. It's difficult to say, really, if there's any confidence in it. I mean, I thought Farrell in his one game looked quite decent. We know Shognessy's a good player if we can keep him fit. Iban Boet as well. I haven't seen anything of him so far. Obviously, he hasn't played any minutes for us at all yet. But again, he came to us from some pretty good pedigree behind him. So hopefully he can do quite well. Although I think he was sort of getting up to full speed out in Slovakia, and in the last training session had a little bit of an issue with a knee. Just hope that's just one of those things when he's coming back. So I think it's really difficult to know what to expect at the moment. Obviously, I hope all those players stay fit and really show their worth for us. But yeah, I can kind of understand the point of wanting the whole team together for the away training camp at the start of the season. Totally get that, but I think I'm going to be more worried if we sort of start the season and get to the end of August without any more recruits to it. So there's a lot of work to do in there, really, still.
So, Reece, saying that, how many spaces do you think are up for grabs in the first team at the moment?
I don't know whether it's up for grabs. I think you're always looking to improve, and I think you got to look at the squad compared to this time last year, and it's a lot more solid. But also, as you mentioned, we've got a much more stronger centre back partnerships and things. I think even if you take the games where Pack played, surely you've got roughly the same players. You've got not Pack playing, therefore you're going to have assuming they stay fit, of course, you can have a much better defensive offering, and I think we'll concede less. But I mean, I think technically we've got a starting 11, and it won't be too bad from last year. But it's clear, with you think about the Matt Ritchie conversation, he's looking to improve it over what we've got. So actually, I don't know whether it's. He's always mentioned wingers, hasn't he? He's looking to try and get a little bit more product from the right as well as the left with Murphy. So I think you'll see different people starting in midfield, because we've lost Potts and Isaac. So I think midfield and maybe on the right wing are probably the three space, for two in the centre and maybe one out wide is what you're probably going to see. Maybe New starting if we get them. But apart from that, I think, who's our starting 11 going to be? It's going to be Schmidt, probably Williams, Farrell or Ogilvie on the left, Shaughnessy with somebody in the middle, and at the moment probably Swift and Dazelle in the middle, and then Murphy, possibly Lang, Bishop up front, and then maybe somebody else on the right. I don't know. So in answer to your question, I'll say about possibly three newish players maybe starting, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing I didn't mention, Phil, is that one or two of our players may be coveted. So obviously there's a lot of possibly hot air about Lang at the moment being coveted by Preston, which is a weird one because, as I'll say later, I think Preston are one of my teams that tips to go down. But, how likely is it that we might lose a couple of players before the start of the season? And if let's say Lang went, how much would you want for him?
Would want somewhere between what we've been offered and what people on Twitter think he's worth. So he's not a £10 million player.
No.
Dave PFC 657. Yeah, he's not worth 10 million. But realistically, you'd want probably 4 million for him. But I don't think he's going anywhere. He's got a year on his. He's got a year left. This year left on his contract. We've got an option on him for next year. He, according to Neil Allen, who interviewed him while they were in Slovakia, he's happy in the area. I think this could be his agent doing him some favours by generating a little bit of possibly false interest in him. I'm sure he said in the past he'd be keen to sign a new deal here. I think it's just a bit of brinksmanship. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't actually think any of our this season. I can't see any of our. Reece was describing our sort of our current starting 11. I don't see anything going personally.
Peter Ridsdale has said today that he has inquired for a number of strikers over the summer, but has no idea where the Callum Lang part came from.
Is Ridsdale still at Preston North End, is he?
He is. He's their chairman, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
He is the only kind of player who's clearly come on in the last year who we haven't tied down to a longer contract. So I think what Phil says makes a lot of sense, and I'm a bit surprised he hasn't signed something extra actually, because we've got some of the other, like Bishop, we've got signed up for on a longer contract. So interesting that one we haven't gotten just to extend his contract there actually. So
in his interview with the News, he actually said himself he would be keen and is hoping that contract talks will remain. And as I think will resume. And I think, as Phil said, we've already got an option to extend for a year. And knowing how good we are with money, I can't see us offering a contract all the time. We don't need to.
No, and I would argue that we're probably a better option than Preston at the moment. I mean, I thought they had a terrible season last season. I don't think Heckingbottom's really pulled up any trees. He managed to get them into sort of safety, but apart from their win against us, which arguably we threw away at least a point, they didn't win hardly any of their last 12, 13 games. I've got them down as struggling. But anyway, that segues nicely, apparently, into the quiz, Phil, which is, as you said, about transfers.
Yeah, especially for Jamie. It's all about our record most expensive signings, because I know Jamie likes to throw a bit of cash around for players. So basically what we're going to be doing, we're going to be looking at our 12 biggest signings in terms of how much they cost. And I'm going to give you a little clue, Jamie, at the moment. None of them were signed under the current ownership. And to make it a little bit interesting this week, you're not only going to get a point you're not going to get a for guessing someone correctly. You will get the number of points. Pounds make points. Let's just say you think Carl Tyler was one of our record signings and we paid 5 million for him. You're going to get 5 million points. And you'll get another extra. I'm going to even be kind. I'll chuck in $1 million bonus. So I'm throwing the money around today. I'm going to chuck in $1 million bonus if you can say where that player has come from. So Carl Tyler, obviously, everyone knows we signed him from Charlton. So just to kick things off and to get the running order sorted, I'm going to ask you all to guess the total value of those 12 players in terms of how much we paid out. I'm going to look at you across the screen. I'm going to quickly go to you. Jamie, how much did we spend on our 12 most expensive players?
65.
Right, Jamie's gone in with 65. Reece?
49 million.
49.
I think it's less than that. I'm going to go for 36.
36 million. And Tim?
Ooh, I was thinking sort of mid-30s as well. I'm going to say 30.
Well, as I expected, Jamie almost nailed it. He was just 5.5 million out. The total, 5.5 million out. The total was £70.5 million. So Jamie gets to go first.
Oh, well done, Jamie.
So Jamie gets to go first, followed by Reece, followed by Tim, and bringing up the rear, Scott. So
I was last. Brilliant.
You were last, yes. So what I want you to do, Jamie, I want you to name one of those top 12 players. And I want you to tell me where we got them from and how much they cost to the nearest £500,000.
Peter Crouch. Peter Crouch. Yes. 11 million from Liverpool.
It's a full house, Jamie. He's going to run away with this.
I remember that one.
Right. Okay. So we are off to Reece. And Reece, you're going to pick someone.
Jermaine Defoe.
Jermaine Defoe, correct.
From Tottenham.
Yeah.
And I think he was was he just under 10 million or was he 10 million? I'll say 10 million.
No, he was 7.5. But nice try. Tim, so we've got number 1 and number 2 here. So Tim, you're obviously going to guess number 3.
God, I'm kind of like, there's so many different players that came in across that era, but I'm not really sure how much we paid for them. And obviously quite a lot of our big stars didn't actually cost any money and came on, free transfers and things like that. I mean, I remember we paid quite a bit of money for David Nugent. Is he in the top 12?
David Nugent is in their joint 5th. David Nugent.
Brilliant.
I mean, that says it all. That says it all. Really.
Well, value for money, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
What was he, about 6 million, something like that?
He was exactly 6 million. And who did we sign?
Oh, wow. Someone from the northeast, wasn't it? Was it Bolton or somewhere like that?
They've been mentioned tonight. They've been mentioned tonight. He came from Preston.
Preston. Oh,
yeah.
For Christ's sake, yeah.
All right. So I
knew he was in a white kit. That's what I remembered.
Yeah. So move on to Scott now.
Can I just say, I think there's a little bit of cheating going on with this, and that's all I'm going to say. What? I just think there is. But I'm going to tell you one that I genuinely know, and that is Lassana Diarra, 5 million from Arsenal.
Wow. He was 5.5 million, Scott. So at least we can see you weren't cheating.
I'm sure it was 5, but yeah. I was correct on the other 2, though.
Oh, well done. Well done, Scott.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we now go on to back to
Sully Montari.
Sully Montari, joint 3rd place. How much was he? Udinese for how much? Watch his eyes.
6 million. No, 6.3 million.
No, he was 7 million. But good, well done all the same. Reece, on to you, mate.
So I'm just trying to think, going through the FA Cup winning team, because I think that's probably where a lot of them came from. Glenn Johnson, is he up there?
Glenn Johnson, very good. He's a joint 9th place, Glenn Johnson.
He came from Chelsea.
He did come from Chelsea.
He was either 4, I'll go 5 million.
Oh, he was 4. Trust your instincts, Reece.
God, I was going to go for 4 as well.
Okay.
I'm struggling there a little bit, to be completely honest with you. The one I've got in my mind, but I don't know if we paid a fee for him or got a decent fee when he left, was Sylvan Distan. Did we pay for him?
No, we didn't pay. We didn't pay
Not enough to be in that. Yeah.
enough to get in that hallowed top 12. So sorry, Tim. Over to you, Scott.
I'm going to go for Nico Cranshaw.
Oh, Nico Cranshaw, you miss out. He was bubbling under at number 13.
Oh, okay. I knew he wasn't much, but yeah, okay, fair enough.
Over to you, Jamie.
Ben Jarney, I reckon he was up there. He came from Auxerre, as they say in France. Auxerre, as you say in France. Yeah.
Auxerre.
3.9 million.
Do that 4 million. We're doing it to the nearest 500,000. So I'll give you that one. Reece, over to you.
The only other one
bonus point for hideously mispronouncing the name of a foreign team.
The only one I can think of is Utaka, but I've got no idea where he came from. And I thought he was around 7 million.
He was 7 million. It was John Utaka. Do you want to guess at the club?
Not a clue. Somewhere in.
Is it a French club?
Marseille.
It was a French club. We'll go to Jamie for pronunciation. It was Stade Rennais.
I still maintain that the French club I said Auxerre is how they would say it in French.
But it is now.
We may never know. Right, on to you, Tim.
The thing I've got in my mind at the moment is, but the trouble is we signed 3 players at once, so I'm not quite sure exactly how it was split. But when we signed Mendes, Davies, and Pamereau, was that about 7 or 8 million for the lot? But I don't know how that would have been split.
I think it was about 7, 8, and I think it was split in a way that none of them made the top 12.
None of them make it.
Sorry,
Tim. 7 was on Mendes, and the other bit was on the other 2.
All right, on to you, Scott.
So.
How many are left?
I'm going to go for Herman Haridason.
No, Herman, sadly not. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 left to get.
No,
I would say they're
clues,
probably the 4 most difficult. No, actually, one of them you should get. One of them's easy.
Without
Jamie.
a clue, I'm not going to guess one.
All right, over to you, Jamie.
So I'm confused. I might be wrong now. I thought Noé Pamereau was one of them. I thought he was on that list. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not so sure now. I'm trying to think. Utaka was going to be one of mine. I knew that one. I knew he was the £7 million flop. I'll never forget that.
The £7 million flop.
Diarra. How much did we pay for Diarra? I think it was around 6 million.
I've got that one. That's the only one I've got.
Sorry. So, what about Kabul? We had Kabul.
Eunice
he was
Kabul.
expensive.
That's inspired. Yes, Eunice Kabul.
He was expensive.
Highest, yeah.
He came from Spurs.
You came from Spurs for the princely sum of
5 million.
Oh, it was 6, but very good nonetheless. Reece, to you.
So the only one I left in the bank at the moment is Yakubu.
Yes, correct.
No idea where he came from, but I think he was around 4.5.
Came from Israel, didn't he?
Yeah, he came from
Maccabi Haifa. 4 or 4.5. Which is it, Reece?
Instinct said 4.5.
Your instinct was wrong again. It was 4. but well done. Well done nonetheless.
Was he 4 million?
Right, Tim, he was 4 million. Tim, we have got two left to get.
I'm trying to think of who we must have wasted some money on at some point.
Have you got anything left in the wardrobe there, Tim?
I'm really clutching at straws here. I mean,
he's not Jamie though.
I'm sure we paid some money for him, but Hayden Mullins, is he up there? Did we
Hayden Mullins
wank away enough money on him?
No, I'm afraid not. Scott?
No, I can't think of any without any clues. Phil, you're gonna have to. I think you're gonna have to do clues.
I'll give you a clue. Seeing
team.
as you're doing woefully, I will give you a clue. One of them came from France. And one of them came from a team that we buy a lot of players.
From France?
No, not Laurent Brabert.
Not Laurent Brabert, no. No.
Wasn't he on a
He was
free?
French, but I think we got him from Newcastle, didn't we?
Yeah, he was on a free as well, wasn't he?
Right, okay, over to
Probably.
you, Jamie.
That's why I'm so crap at this.
The only one I could think of which is the clue I tried to give Tim when I said, "Have you got anything left in the wardrobe?" was Papa Booba Diop.
No, well, it was a good clue, and he was
Nice.
again. He was just bubbling under. He was just under 4 million apparently. So, Reece, do you want a clue? Do you want a clue that's on a par with Jamie's clue?
Yeah, go on then. Well,
We
that's
played
not
a
a clue,
princely
but go
sum
on then.
for him. We played a princely sum for
Kevin
him.
Prince Boateng?
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin Prince Boateng.
I forgot that.
Yes.
And he came from Spurs, didn't he?
He did come from Spurs.
He was from Spurs, wasn't he? Oh,
Gone.
oh,
How much for Reece?
He was about 4-5 million, wasn't he? Oh God, whatever I say. Right, I'll go low this time.
It's going to be
4
wrong,
million.
Reece. Whatever you say. It was 4 million. Congratulations. Right, we've got one left. We've
Nice.
got one left to get Tim.
One left.
Oh,
I'll give you a clue. He was signed under Redknapp. I think he may have been a bigamist. I seem to remember reading a story that he was a bigamist. If he wasn't a bigamist, I apologise. But I may have read an article in which
that hasn't narrowed it down a lot, to be fair.
Sorry. He played on the left, frantically consulting a lawyer in case he is not a bigamist.
Diamante Kamara,
No.
the headless chicken.
No.
He played on the left. Crankjar played on the left.
I'm thinking Gregory Vignal played on the left for us
No,
for
it
a
wasn't
bit.
Gregory Vignal.
But I thought he was probably signed up when Redknapp had gone, I think.
Bigamist.
No, I'm struggling with this one.
There's nothing in Wikipedia about him being a bigamist. I just want to make that clear. Anyone
It's all
want
right,
to have a
this
guess?
whole section's being edited out anyway. Folks. Don't worry about
All right. Anyone have a quick guess before I give it to you?
No,
It was
probably
Nadir.
Of course.
Yeah. We spent 4.5 million on him.
Oh, bloody hell.
So, in terms of the points you've got, Tim, you've got
None.
what sounds like a fantastic 7 million points. Scott, 7.5 million points. Reece, 31.5 million points. And Jamie, 44 million points. Congratulations.
Hey.
Well done, Jamie. Yep, you smashed it.
Making up for the end of season quiz there.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for that, Phil. So next we're gonna pop get some discussion going about the current squad. So I asked each one of you to do a little bit on defence, midfield, and attack. So we'll start from the back, Phil. If you can give us a run through of our bodies at the back at the moment, and maybe sort of give us a clue as to who you think might start the season.
Okay, before I do that, I just want to clear my name and say that Nadir Belhaj faced an investigation of bigamy in France.
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
All
Yeah.
those lawyers out there, you can...
Yeah.
I'm still editing it all out, Phil.
You should leave that in now. That's quality TV.
I'll see how it sounds.
Right. Okay. So looking at our I'll look at defence, and obviously in the goalkeeping department, currently we've got 3 in the building, 1 out on loan. I think we all agree Nicholas Schmidt is undoubtedly our first choice keeper, arguably the best player or the best piece of our transfer business from last year. And I'd say, given his age and ability, he's probably our most saleable asset at the moment. I'd expect him to have another good season for us. And then I expect him to move on to bigger and better things, probably. We've got Ben Killipin as his backup. I think we signed him because he plays a very similar game to Schmidt. He looks a bit like him. He's got the same hair and facial hair. So that could come in useful.
Always important.
Jordan Archer, clearly the forgotten man, third choice, possibly on his way out. And then we've got Toby Stewart, who's the heir apparent to Nico's crown, out on loan at the moment in St Johnstone, and I think he's being groomed to take over from Schmidt possibly as soon as next year. Massino's obviously said he wants to work with 4 keepers, which is why he's been sort of running the rule over a number of goalies during our pre-season. I imagine we'll sign one of them, and then nothing more than a body for the training ground, really. So I don't see a lot of movement there. Maybe Archer going out, but and I think, like I say, absolutely no doubt about who our number 1 goalkeeper is. I agree with Reece. Back 4 pretty much picks itself. Williams at right back, Ogilvie left back, Paul and Shotmessy in the middle. And there's also sort of a clear backup for each position. We've got Swanson, Farrell, Matthews and Boat waiting in the wings. And, of course, mustn't forget Terry Devlin, who plays wherever he wants. And what we have seen with Messino is there's little room for sentiment. So I won't be surprised to see maybe Farrell or Matthews challenging for a first team spot. Barat, as we said earlier, is an interesting one because no one really knows how good he is. Could be the next big thing. Could be the next Riley Towler. We don't know. I imagine we'll sign another centre-back, possibly even two. Obviously, Towler's gone. McIntyre's on his way out. And we know we're only a couple of injuries from Marlon Pack playing in the centre of defence. So I can see that happening. I think that Roy Atkinson's ship has sailed. He's probably our best defender last season. And his partnership with Regan Paul, probably the best of the sort of 74 pairings that we tried out. We seem to be quite keen on Nathan Ferguson, who's apparently was training with us at the end of last season and has trained at the beginning of this season with us. He's got a horrific injury record, but also he's a player of immense promise. I think before his first layoff, he was set to join Crystal Palace for about £8 million. So if he's put his injuries behind him, he could be a shrewd sort of maybe playing on a sort of short-term prove yourself deal. So in terms of what we got, I think the keeper and back four picks itself, and I think one or two defenders coming in, that should probably do it.
Yeah, interesting. I agree with you though. I think Matthews might challenge Paul over that right-sided centre-back role. I think it's a toss-up between the two of them, and I guess having the luxury of picking someone who's in form or not in form, rather than picking someone who's got both legs that work, which is basically the scenario last season, is going to shore up those defensive frailties that we suffered from last season. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we keep as down to as few injuries as possible in the back four, and we get some consistency there, or back five rather. Reece, you were going to cover the midfield. I realised that I haven't left you much, to be honest, for the moment. But run your rule over what we've got.
Yeah, I was looking at this. I thought, well, actually, I'm going to leave some out because if I don't and cover the kind of the people who the midfield who don't play up front, basically Tim's got Waddingham and Bishop. So I'll leave you with a few others in the centre. So I mean, I think that the main area that we've been concerned about has been the centre midfield. I mean, Potts has gone. Hayden's gone. I think we brought in Segasic. I think he's going to do really well. Actually, I think he's going to start on the right. I think at the moment it will be Swift and Dazelle in the middle, and then Murphy on the left. But I think we're going to get at least two, possibly three more in here. I think certainly maybe another two in the centre. I mean, I think the Hungarian is on his way. I think we're going to get another potential right winger because now Richie's been told he can leave for another club. So, but who those midfielders will be, I don't know. But I mean, I think we're okay in there. We're not fantastic, but we do definitely need something a little bit more on the right, and it'll be interesting to see who we go for. But I'm quietly optimistic that we'll get those. I think there was a lot of noise last week that we would get at least another couple, maybe 3 transfers over the line this week. So yeah, I mean, you've got Ruben Swan in there, but he's a development player. So Devlin, I think, could also play in there. I mean, Lang's obviously going to be your number 10 just behind that, but he could play out wide as well. I don't think we're looking too bad in there, actually. So, and I mean, I don't expect to see Harry Clout in there. I think he'll be just training with the first team, getting familiar with a lot of experience. But hopefully Pack will stay in midfield. But I mean, he was being very bullish in the paper today that his career's not over. So we'll see. But I mean, I think we spoke about him last year, didn't we? That he just needs maybe 3 in the middle, 2 to protect him, and then him to have a bit more time on the ball, but he's not getting any quicker, so I can't really see that happen. So I think my expectations say another couple in the middle and maybe one out wide again. But
yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because I don't know. It will be interesting to see if Mousinho sticks with the same style of play, especially away from home. The direct ball, high pressing, which many games really worked well for us, especially if Murphy was on form. Because as an outlet, he was just terrific. You get the ball to him high up the pitch, and he can make things happen either by scoring himself or crossing for someone else. As you mentioned, or someone mentioned earlier, our output from the right was very, very poor, but the output from the left was up there in the top couple of 3 assists or or goal assists in the league. So, Tim, you've got the attack to sum up, please, if you'd like to.
Yeah, I think up front and possibly on the right is where I'd expect to see a bit of transfer activity over the coming weeks. Obviously, we got quite depleted on what we had last season. Cassini Yengi's gone to Aberdeen, I think it was. Christian Sadie, as we mentioned earlier, has gone as well to Wigan. I was pretty gutted to see him go. I thought he was a useful player for us. And obviously, we had the striker Omani, I think his name was, from Brighton last season. At the moment, it's looking pretty obvious that we're going to start with Colby Bishop up front, probably with Lang in behind him, like you say, in the number 10 role. I think Waddingham looked quite useful the couple of times he appeared last season. He obviously didn't get much of a chance and scored that goal at Blackburn, but then picked up injuries, and so we sort of see what we get out of him over the coming season. But hopefully he can hit the ground running this year. But only another player we haven't mentioned really would be Harvey Blair, who on the Portsmouth official website is down as a forward winger, it says there. So will he be our answer to the right wing or so in the number 10? I'm not sure, but I'd expect to see quite a bit of activity there at the moment, because otherwise it's pretty obvious it's Lang behind Bishop to start the season.
Yeah, Jamie, I'm going to give you an overall squad assessment. You said earlier you weren't that happy with the transfer so far, and fingers crossed we get, in the next 2 or 3 weeks we get a few more in. It sounds obvious where we'd like to strengthen, but where would you like to see if we were going to put some money in, 2 or 3 million, where would you like to see it spent?
It was interesting hearing everyone else's views there. We've almost got the position where it's going to have to be one in, one out. I think apart from the central midfield, it sounds like we've got cover for pretty much every position, barring injuries. And so I'm going to put my Championship, or Football Manager as they call it these days, head on. And how I would do that was I would have my squad's usually 2 or 3 goalkeepers, 5 central midfielders, 5 central defenders, 2 of each of the wingers, and I would say we need 3. 4 probably because of the Lang situation. Usually I play 2 up front, but yeah, with that. So I think we need cover for Lang. That I think is a big thing for us. I'd have liked to have seen Ashish come back. To be honest, I was disappointed. I think he went to Aberdeen as well. I was quite disappointed that we didn't get him back, simply because I thought when he did play, he did really well. And we're not, hopefully we are going to keep Lang. For me, he's up there as one of our, best players, top 3 players. So I really don't want to see him go. But obviously, if he gets injured, then we're going to need someone to cover for him. I think Segacic can play there, but I see him starting out. I think that's the reason we're letting Matt Ritchie go, is because we've got him now out on the right with bags of pace. Then we've got Harvey Blair as cover for him. On the left, we've got Josh Murphy and Paddy Lane as cover for him. I think the left's is much better side for him. So yeah, the new midfielder. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but the Hungarian chap has. I think the deal has been signed for him today. I know he had a medical with us today. So other than that, we might get another. We might see another centre back and another midfielder, and possibly cover for Colby Bishop and Waddingham.
Yeah, so I'll stay with you, because the next thing I was going to ask everyone to give their thoughts on was bearing in mind our expectation 12 months ago was we just need to stay up. Where do you think we are now in our development, and what's your expectations for the season? Obviously we all hope we stay up, but how are we going to stay up well, or are we going to be in a relegation fight? I'm just going to ask each one of you one at a time what you think. So I'll go with you first, Jamie.
Well, last season I put a tenner on Pompey to get promoted.
You did. I was listening to that pod earlier today. It was basically people were saying that I think it was the euphoria after Lang had banged 4 in after Coventry. You started throwing your money around.
Well, no, I did it. I did it at the start of the season as well.
Okay,
I had one first, and I think it was somewhere between 500 and 1,000 to 1. It was stupid odds, but it was, if it had come in this season, I've done the same bet, and I've only got, I think it's like 50 or 60 to 1. So the bookies seem to think we have a much better chance than we did last season. I'm really disappointed Matt Ritchie has gone. I saw him as our leader on the pitch, and I thought that he was the most likely player to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and win it for us. But I do have a lot of faith in the management team and the coaching staff, so they must know something I don't about, Sigurcic coming in and, possibly Paddy Lane coming back as a new improved. I've always been a big fan of his. I think he can go far with the right attitude. So my prediction, long story short, is I think we will finish mid-table, but I like to think we've got the opportunity to sneak into the playoffs with a good run and not too many injuries.
Yeah, I like that. Well, normally it's Tim who's really exuberant and confident, but from you, Jamie, you've got me right there, mate. So, Phil, I think I mentioned more than once that I couldn't believe how Millwall used to finish in the top 10 nearly every season recently. So, sounds like we're going to be more like Millwall, which is what I wanted. What do you think?
More like Millwall in what way, though?
Well, just stubborn and didn't concede many goals and had an organisation. Wasn't very pretty to watch, obviously, but as we said last season, it doesn't. They don't look extraordinary, do they? They look like just a hard-working, organised team, and that seems to get you 9th, 10th, 11th this in the Championship. So, what do you think?
I think we're going to be a lot more attractive to watch this season. I think Messina might throw a little bit of the pragmatism out the window. He sort of alluded to that slightly. That he's going to change the playing style and be a bit more sort of possession based, rather than counter attacking. But I can see us flirting with the playoffs at some point. I can see us all getting a bit giddy. I think in reality, we're going to probably finish somewhere between 10th and 14th, which I'll be honest, I'll be perfectly happy with. I think we might go on a bit of a bad run where we sort of start looking over our shoulders, but I think we're going to be quite safe from the. I don't think we're going to be involved in the relegation battle, and I think it's going to be. I don't want to call it a boring season, but I think a season of what's the word I'm looking for? Consolidation. So yeah, 10th to 14th.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so first 4 games in August: Oxford away, Norwich at home, West Brom away, Preston North End at home. So you could make a case for us having a very good. No idea how West Brom are going to be this season. I don't think they've sorted themselves out. Preston, I think, will struggle. Oxford, I think a lot of people are tipping them to do what Plymouth did: stay up one season and go down the next. So a win on the opening day would really set us up. What do you think, Tim? Based on what you've just heard,
I'm coming on from pretty much the same place as everybody else. If I'd have gone first, I was going to say 11th is what I was going to say. I think looking at the league table from last year, that would be another 7 points on top of what we'd got last season. Would have been enough to have finished 11th. So I think that's where we're going to see a little bit of an improvement. I think rather than get some of the batterings that we took in away games, I still think we're going to probably lose some away games, but hopefully not as badly. Turn a few more points around from it. Hopefully, I'm underestimating our season next year, but not wanting to get carried away. I'm going to say 11th.
Okay, that's a decent shout. I think we can get to 10th. So last season 68 was quite a low total to get you into the playoffs. Normally it was much more than that, but we had 3 teams who dominated the league in Leeds, Sheffield United and Burnley, and were beating everyone. So that diluted the points tally. So yeah, I think we could get 10th or 11th. I think the aim would be to get 60 plus points this year, and that would give us a 8 or 9 point improvement on last season, and could take as high as 10th or 11th. So I'm really encouraged as well. We could be a month into the season and all head in our hands, and we've lost all 4 games, and everything turns around, but. It's the start of the season. Nothing's happened yet. We're all very hopeful. I don't know if Jamie, did you get a chance to do your top 6, bottom 3?
Yeah, kind of. So did I get that right? It was the top 6 players and bottom 3 players. Was
that teams? So
teams.
You don't necessarily.
No, I haven't. No. Done any of that.
Don't necessarily have to get them in the right order. Just who you think will be in the playoffs and who you think
I did our top 6 and bottom 3 players, which I thought was a really weird number anyway.
I'll tell you what, that's interesting enough to hear it. So let's hear it before everyone else gives their team predictions.
Well, and another spanner in that works. I felt mean doing the bottom three, so I decided rather than to do mine, I'd ask AI what AI thought are top 6 players and bottom 3
This is always
players.
interesting.
So it is interesting as well, because at number 1 it's gone for John Swift straight away, and I thought, well, okay, fine, but it's given him it says a creative force in midfield at a market value of €2.8 million. Swift will be instrumental in orchestrating attacks and controlling tempo. Next, it thinks that Callum Lang is our next best. With a sharp movement and clinical finishing, Lang will prove to be a reliable second striker. Colby Bishop's third, a consistent goal scorer and physical presence up front, a fan favourite for his work rate and finishing. Next, it's gone for Andre Dazelle.
What?
Right. A composed central midfielder who links play effectively and adds stability to the spine of the team. Then it thinks it's Regan Paul, a dependable centre-back with strong leadership qualities and defensive awareness. And next is Josh Murphy, who brings pace and flair on the wing, often unlocking defences with his dribbling and delivery. And because John Swift was in there, I said, well, okay, who's your 7th then? And the 7th was Paddy Lane. He didn't give reason for Paddy. And it said honourable mentions would be Segicic and Terry Devlin. The worst. Go on. You had a question there, did you? Go on.
No, I was just going to say it's very poetic AI, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah. No disrespect to Giselle, but he's not the 4th best player we've got. So what about the bottom 3 then?
So I had to remind it that Yengi had gone, and after it had been reminded, it said Harvey Blair, Kamara, and Dockerell.
Okay.
Dockerell. I say he's
I
a
know.
while ago, isn't he? Josh Dockerell.
Oh, I see. I thought it was. Okay.
I thought it was.
Wasn't it? I thought it was the youngster. Who's the youngster? I'll get them mixed up.
Clout.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, mate. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
AI again proving why not everyone's job's under threat just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a shame, but I think most people would agree the Scummers have got every chance to be in the top 6, unless you're going to prove me wrong, Phil.
I'm going to prove you wrong, Scott.
Hey, brilliant.
And I've done 6 favourite vegetables and 3 least favourite fruit. No, it's not that. So I'm going to be bold. I've got Ipswich winning the league and Sheffield United runners up. And then my 4 playoff teams, I've got Birmingham City, Leicester City, Coventry City, and Norwich. All the cities. Norwich City being my
all the cities
wild card. And then relegation. I think sadly this year relegation is going to be dominated by teams off the pitch actions rather than on the pitch actions. So I've got Sheffield Wednesday finishing bottom. I've got Hull City finishing above them. And as you'd mentioned earlier, Scott, I've got Oxford United as the other one. I've got the Scummers finishing in the top 6. I wouldn't even dream of suggesting that. And also, I don't think Rex. Also, don't think Wrexham are going to finish in the top 6 either.
No, I think from what I've seen of some of the YouTubes I've seen over the last couple of days, nearly everyone's tipping Birmingham City to do much, much better than Wrexham, purely because they genuinely can throw tens of millions at the squad and have done already. And Jay Stansfield was just a terrific striker. He was unbelievable for the under-21s in the summer, and I think he's just gonna score goals for fun in this division. Tim, what's your picks?
Again, nothing massively different from what's already been said here. I think the 3 coming down are going to be three of that top 6. I think Sheffield United are going to be up there as well with it. I'd put Coventry in there and Birmingham as well. And for the similar reasons, they've already got a good squad they've spent a lot of money on, and they've still got plenty of money to spend. I think going down, I had Sheffield Wednesday as well, again for their off-the-field troubles. The other 2, I'm going for more teams that I'd like to go down, and I'm going to go for Derby and Stoke.
Brilliant. And I always call you. I always introduce you as the nicest man in Podland.
New season, isn't it?
Exactly. You've turned over a new leaf. You're gonna be the nasty man.
Unpopular in the North Midlands.
Yeah.
But he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right. So I've got Birmingham, Coventry, Ipswich, Leicester at Scummers, and who else did I pick? Norwich. I think will improve. I think. They've signed some pretty scary players, to be honest. So I think they'll be strong. And bottom three, as you said, Phil, it's probably the teams that are going to be hamstrung, like Hull and Sheffield Wednesday. And I was so I tipped Preston to go down last season in the scrum at the bottom, and they managed to squeak enough points to stay up. I think they'll go down. I think so. I think everyone's got the usual suspects and the usual picks. It's just, that scrap for the middle, and that's where we'll be. But I'm really excited by this season. We were all really excited, but very, very nervous and scared, and especially about the first the legendary first 7 fixtures. But I think we've got a slightly easier start this year. We've got a more balanced squad, and we've got a more ready squad. So it's just up to them to completely screw it up, really. What did you want to say, Jamie?
I was going to say, do you want some more proof that AI isn't going to steal all of our jobs just yet?
Please, because
So I asked it in the background to predict the top 6 and the bottom 3. So its top 3 are Leicester, the Scummers, Ipswich Town, Blackburn Rovers, West Brom and Wrexham. And its bottom 3 are Oxford United, Sheffield Wednesday and Wrexham.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with hedging your bets, though, is there? There's nothing wrong with hedging your bets. Well, I think that wraps it up nicely, gents. Thank you very much for doing a pre-season pod. Very enjoyable. As again, I'm off to watch the Lionesses hopefully beat the Italians. I don't know if anyone else is watching that as well.
Will be, yeah.
Jamie's pulling a face, so clearly not. So we will be back a week into the season after the Reading Cup game. We'll do a pod then, and hopefully Pompey have chalked up a couple of wins already. Thanks very much again, guys. Have a great August. We'll speak again soon, and in this new exciting season. So play up, Pompey.